to the HiMama product demo. I hope you got your belts on because you're about to get your socks knocked off tonight. I learned that line from one of our sales reps. It's a beauty. But seriously, we're humbled to be presenting at ProductCon Toronto tonight. And I also love the data point that the EdTech industry is worth $5 trillion. If we get, I'm going to take that to my next VC pitch and say, if we can get 0.1% of the EdTech industry, we're a $5 billion company. So thanks for that. But seriously, we are excited to be here representing the youngest and most precious age group in our educational system, and that's infant children through to kindergarten age. That's who we support at HiMama with our apps for preschool and early learning programs. And basically what our app is, it's an app that preschool teachers use on tablets in the classroom to record children's activities. That's everything from health and well-being to learning and development, and also just silly and fun moments that parents are at work pretending to work on an Excel file, but they're just staring at their monitor, are gonna love and smile at during the day. Okay, so my name's Spreeuwenberg. I'm the co-founder and CEO of HiMama. I'm actually presenting instead for our CTO, Alana Fromi. She's not in Toronto tonight, but she'd actually be much better at presenting about our product. But I'll do my best. We do have some of our team here somewhere. Where's the HiMama team? Give me a shout out. Oh shit, oh there you are, okay. They're here, so cool. At least we've got them. So the HiMama team is passionate about two big things. So the first is engaging parents in their children's learning and development. So this is very important to us. And the second is empowering early childhood educators. They need to get a lot more respect in society. They're not getting very much right now. So those are the two things that we care a lot about. And we hope that those two things ultimately translate into better outcomes for children. So I'm going to show you a little bit of our product tonight. A few interesting things about us. So, what has driven our product decisions? So the first is that we are a bootstrap company. So our decisions have been based on being agile and not over-engineering things. The second is that we're in a sort of traditional industry, even more so than K-12. Technology adoption is very slow in preschool programs. And thirdly, we work with multiple stakeholders. So we have users that are teachers, we have users that are parents, and we have users that are administrators of childcare programs. And we have to balance the needs of all of these three stakeholders. So if you just give me a moment to sort out my tech here, I'm gonna show you the educator app, because we really see the early childhood educators or preschool teachers as our primary users. They're the ones who are entering the content of children's learning and development into our app for parents to experience. As I pull this up, a little bit about it. So the first thing is, again, based on being a bootstrap company, we first built a responsive web-based mobile apps. Okay, that's where we started, based on Ruby and Bootstrap. And then we created hybrid apps. We used tools like PhoneGap to create hybrid apps because we knew that platform flexibility was important for preschool teachers. For example, we're available on iOS and Android, but we're also on Amazon, so that preschools who don't have a lot of money can use us on Kindle Fires that cost $50 instead of iPads that cost over $300 for an iPad mini, okay? So let me just pull up our screen here. I'm gonna try doing this on my iPad. So I'm a teacher, I'm logged into the Educator app. You're seeing this on an iPad mini right now. Like I said, it's built on a responsive platform, so it's designed to be used, landscape, portrait, etc. You can see it looks pretty clean for a web-based platform, not native. So basically I'm logged in. As soon as my kids arrive, I'm sort of checking them in. And so it's doing a lot of these administrative pieces for me in addition to the communications piece with parents. Sort of one of the key pieces that we focus on is ease of use. So put yourself in a preschool room as a preschool teacher. You're trying to look after 20 kids that are running around. being crazy, and you're also trying to do some documentation in your app. So it's got to be super fast. So, we can do things like batch updates. So if everybody's having the same, snack or whatever it is, it's designed to be very quick to use. And this is replacing a lot of the pen and paper work that the educators are doing anyways. So it's replacing that and making it faster versus creating additional work for them. And that's a very important point to make. One of the key pieces that we've also focused on is learning and development. And so as part of that, you can add learning and development activities for children. So let's say Lucy was doing something in class today, and I'm going to pull that straight from my lesson plan because this was a planned event for the day. And let's say it was a science and nature activity planned for the day, which was reading about shapes in nature. I don't even have to type that. It's coming right from my plan that's been prepped in advance. And I can also tag development skills in that though as well. So let's say I want to add additional information about that being associated with the emotional domain and autonomy. And the indicator that I observed was she initiated the reading on her own. And I can also add photo or video updates, which of course the parents are going to love. So the really cool thing about what I just did in about 10 seconds is that did a whole bunch of stuff in the background that teachers otherwise would have to do on their own. And so let me show you some of those things. So the first is the parents are going to get a real-time update. So again, when they're at work and they're looking for something more fun to do than work, they're going to get an update about their kid, which is awesome. The second thing is it's going to go in their daily report that the parents are going to get at the end of every day. And it also goes into a couple of other reports, or what we call a visual learning journal, and also development assessment. So first of all, let's take a look at the development assessment. So you saw me add some of those learning skills that were involved in that activity. As a teacher, that's automatically going into an assessment for that child, which is kind of huge because if you know any teachers, including preschool teachers, a lot of their extra time in evenings and weekends is spent doing grading and reports, and this just happens in the background. So I've got all of my observations, all my notes here in one place, and I can drill down for more information on any individual activity if I'd like to learn more. The other thing is that you've got a visual journal, or a portfolio as we call it as well. And this is quite powerful for educators because they like to go back and they like to reflect on learnings visually to see what children have been up to see, okay, instead of planning what's happening over the next month, I can see what, in this case, Edward's been doing for the last 3 or 4 days, and I can plan the next event based on his learning, which is called emergent curriculum. So I'm basing that just right for his level to improve outcomes for him. So that's the way that the program's designed. You can see that, hopefully, it's pretty easy to use, and that's where we put a lot of our emphasis with HiMama, is making it easy to use. That's the really quick version of the demo. Because we're a little bit behind, I'm just going to show you that piece. But if you have questions offline, come to me. I'm happy to answer them. So today we have thousands of childcare programs using HiMama. We have hundreds of thousands of parents on our platform. Also, they're very engaged users, which is very important to us. We have about 500,000 entries added by preschool teachers every single day. And parents are also highly, highly engaged. They are opening our emails, for example, 1.4 times. So they're opening them more than once per day, and we're sending like hundreds of thousands of emails. So very engaged user base, which is awesome. Why do I think this product is successful? So first of all, there's actual research that shows that more parent engagement is better for improving outcomes for children. There's a lot of data behind that. So it's research-based. The second is that, again, a point I made earlier is that this is actually making teachers' jobs easier, and it's not adding more work for them. Teachers have enough work already, and they're not even really financially compensated for that well enough yet, so another important point. And third is kind of the obvious one, is that the parents love it. Like, parents absolutely love getting the updates. They rave about HiMama. They love it. Love is literally the most common word used to describe the parent experience with HiMama, so that's the big thing. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to listen to me today, including bearing with me during my technical issues. I have one more announcement before I finish, which is we're going to be putting a big focus on product development this year. So we're hiring engineers, front-end engineers, full-stack engineers. If you are looking to join a startup that's kind of at our phase of growth, talk to me or somebody with a HiMama t-shirt. We'd love to speak with you. Thanks again, everybody. Questions? Way in the back. Okay, I'm gonna kill someone if I throw this from here.
Could you talk a little bit about sort of how you came to certain conclusions about how features are developed? So you talked about visual, what do you call it, the visual library thingy. How did you know that teachers wanted to do it that way? How did you make those decisions?
Yeah, so I followed a customer development methodology that I actually learned from a Mars workshop here in Toronto, and it was excellent. So I literally went and I met with about 50 daycares in person, and I sat down with directors, supervisors, and teachers to ask them what their pain points were, where they struggled with documentation, parent communication, what were their key priorities, and got it right from them. And I designed it based on that, and then we iterated on that as well. That was a huge part, I think, of HiMama's early success, was those in-person meetings. Yeah.
And did you collect ongoing feedback?
We do. We collect ongoing feedback as well, both from our customers as well as prospects, right? So if we actually get a lot of intelligence from prospects who say, we really love HiMama, but there's this one thing or whatever. And so, we document all that feedback centrally and loop it back to our product team. Yeah. Well, all these people who are so far away. The pricing model, so it's subscription-based, where the childcare programs pay a subscription fee. Everything is free for parents.
You don't make the kids pay?
That's 2020. First the childcare, and then the parents, and then the kids, and then their kids. No. Yes.
To what extent are you documenting learning disabilities? So I noticed you document things like emotional assessments and things like that. Vision issues, motor issues, things like that. Are you documenting some of those things as well to identify challenges for those kids? And those parents?
Yeah, so there's kind of like two forms of assessment in early childhood, I'd say. And the first is kind of what you're describing, which is like an assessment to see is there any development disabilities or sort of like red flags. And that's not really built into our product so much because usually it's more kind of like a checklist, which technology doesn't help with too much. But the second piece is more about the ongoing daily development observations and this type of thing, which is more built in. But HiMama is very flexible in that, like, even if you're at the toddler age and you're in a toddler class perhaps, and you're struggling in a certain area, the preschool teacher can still document your development based on the infant frameworks or standards, just so they can see where you're at, or even if you're more advanced at the preschool level. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you guys consider moving towards more native mobile development? And if not, would there be a point where you would start to consider that more seriously?
Yes, we totally will. So I mean, it's like we're following like true the lean model. So like we're just minimizing waste as much as possible, but at some point that will make sense for us probably very soon. Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't mind sharing with us, what's your background professionally or educationally, and did that play into HiMama, and if so, how?
Yeah, so I did chemical engineering at Waterloo. I didn't get into systems design. That's why I'm at HiMama on a top hat. No, I'm kidding. And I worked at Deloitte Consulting for a number of years. I did my MBA at Harvard Business School. And how has that impacted my decision to start HiMama? I mean, I think for me, I was looking for something with more of a social impact. That was very important to me. And if you speak to anyone on my team tonight, you'll see that's a big theme for us as well. So that was a big driving decision for me. Yeah. Yes.
I remember reading the best UX or the user experience is no interface, right? The best UX is no UX. So what I feel like is this is such an emotional area to deal with infants
Yeah, so I mean, I'll answer that question the best I can, which is basically to say that the way that early childhood education is progressing towards is not like rating scales or like you scored 2 stars out of 5 or you're a D. Like that's not really what we're trying to do with early childhood education. We're really trying to take observations of how children are developing and work with parents to say, hey, what's the next step that's going to help them develop best? And we'll work on that here at the preschool program. And you should also work on that at home, because if we both do it together, that's going to have the highest impact. So in that way, it's a very transparent and very organic conversation that's not really about like assessments or marks or grades. And I don't know, does that answer your question? Maybe you could repeat the question and I can try to answer it better.
Probably did not ask it properly. Isn't that very easily achievable when the teacher just communicates with their parent every month or through email? Isn't that the best way to communicate how your child is progressing and what can they improve? What can they teach their child at home?
Right. So it's our view that the more, yeah.
Can you repeat the
Oh, sorry. The question is, and correct me if I'm wrong, was that you felt that the best way for parents and teachers to communicate was on sort of like a monthly basis on how the child is progressing. Because each child is different one-on-one. Okay, so first of all, HiMama is completely a one-on-one communication platform. So it's not like when you send a message to parents, it goes to all the parents. That's a super key component. Like when I send Liam's parents a message, it goes directly to them about Liam. The other thing is what we believe and what early childhood educators believe is that the more frequent the communication, the better. So once a month is definitely not enough. It needs to be at least weekly, at best daily, and it should be one-on-one. And also the technology, we also stress, complements the face-to-face. Does not replace it. 100% does not replace it, it complements it. And I'm going to check in with you because we're probably running. One more question. Yes?
What about data?
What about it?
I know that's something with a daughter in daycare, like, where's the love for data?
I love that. I love data. I love data. I'm an engineer. But is there any good data you're looking for?
No.
Daddy.
Oh, daddy! Sorry, I thought you said data. We love data. I love data and I love datas. No, it's a good question. I mean, so we try to think of the word mama as universal. It's the most common first word of children, and it's meant to mean like nurture. And nurture can be a mother, it could be a dad, it could be a grandma, it could be anybody. And especially in an increasingly accepting society of LGBTQ and all this, like it doesn't matter what shape, size, or gender. Anybody can be a mama. They're all nurturers, and so that's kind of our view about that. All right, thanks everybody.